You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, April 8th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my compañera this morning. I got the lovely Grace Monroe. All you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace, how you doing this morning, Grace?
Oh my God. Yesterday sucked. That game sucked. It was awful. I don't even know what we watched. If you watched that game, what were we doing? But I'm glad to be here today with you, Hector. And today is a brand new day and a brand new lineup.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm specifically rocking my PR hat and my Roberto Clemente jersey because over the weekend it was known that the Pittsburgh Pirates did some dumb shit by removing the Roberto Clemente plaque that they had in right field. They corrected it because the fans came out and showed their outrage in it. I think it was a poor move by the ownership in Pittsburgh because they're all about the dollar. Roberto Clemente is a legend in Major League Baseball, and I'm glad they were able to fix that up. But we got to talk about the Yankees because we went into Detroit and it was snowing in Detroit. It was cold in Detroit. They moved the game up. The game was supposed to be at nighttime, but they moved it up to 1 o'clock. The Yankees do play today at 1 o'clock. We'll go through that lineup. But Grace, we got the Pittsburgh series to talk about. We got the Detroit Tigers series to talk about. The first game. I'm gonna toss it over to you to lead the conversation. Let's shout out the chat before we continue. Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. My guy Jacob. Good morning, Jacob. How you doing? Theo Nosebleed section is in the building. Shout out to Theo Nosebleed. Matter of fact, Grace, you know what?
What?
I think while we do these shout outs to the chat, I think I need some music to be playing in the background. So let's get the music going in the background. So shout out to Theo Nosebleed section. Again, shout out to our good friend Jacob Petruzzi. Spinning Mantis is in the building. Anna Marie LeBeau, good morning. We got Sean Browning in the building. Nathaniel Crenshaw, how you doing? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. If you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When it comes to subscribers on YouTube, we are sitting at 4,983 subscribers. We are literally 17 subscribers away, 16 subscribers away from 5K. We just got a new subscriber who just tuned in right now and subscribed to the channel. Appreciate you guys. 16 more subs away. Grace, I'm gonna toss it over to you. Lead the convo.
So what I want to say real quick about Roberto Clemente is, obviously we weren't alive when he was playing baseball, but I remember when Willie Mays passed away recently, rest in peace, Willie Mays, one of the absolute greatest. And I asked my dad, who was alive, right? Excuse me. I asked my dad who was alive at this time, but here's what you need to know. My daddy is not a baseball guy. He's not a baseball fan. He doesn't follow baseball at all. But I asked him, just because he was alive, Dad, who do you think is the best baseball player that ever lived? Because the discourse at the time was that people agreed that Willie Mays was the best baseball player all around that ever lived. And my dad goes, Roberto Clemente. And I was like, a dad? Like, this is a guy who grew up in Texas, lived in Texas his whole life, doesn't even follow baseball, and he said Roberto Clemente. So that to me was just a earmark of how much Roberto Clemente's legacy has gone into all parts of the culture of the United States, much less baseball, much less Puerto Rico, much less all these other things. So covering up his number was a dumb move. I'm so glad they fixed that because he's a national treasure and always will be. So glad for the Pirates to fix that move. They're doing a lot of things right now that are just wild. They are not good looks. So this was an easy fix. I'm glad they got that fixed. Also, I did have dinner or lunch with my daddy this weekend. It was my wedding anniversary, so my parents took.
Shout out to the anniversary.
Yeah, 7 years in a row. And they took us out to dinner or lunch. And my daddy, again, does not follow baseball, but anytime he can rib me over the New York Yankees, he can and he will. And what did he bring up at lunch, Hector? What did he bring up just to piss me off? The torpedo bats. I'm like, Dad, how do you even know about the torpedo bats? And he was like, well, I could hit home runs too if I had a bat that was this big. And I'm like, Daddy, that is not even it. Anyway, I got my torpedo bat shirt in.
Hey.
I'm wearing it proudly. I had to explain to my dad, no, it's not like that. That's fake news. So anyway, the torpedo bats are out. Doesn't help us with the strikeouts, though. I am locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Hector, thank you, Nosebleed. I am locked and loaded, Hector, and ready to talk about the umpiring.
Yes.
If you want to talk about this, we can talk about this. Because the umpiring of yesterday's game was absolute
garbage.
I can't say. I don't want to curse much because Anna Marie will, charge me. But it was so bad on both sides for both teams. Okay, the ump was not calling the strike zone off the plate. Then he was calling it off the plate. It was inconsistent at best.
Very.
It was horrible. Now, here's what I want to talk about. MLB, you have shown us now that you have a system ready and available that works to hold these umpires accountable in calls that affect at-bats, that affect innings, that affect games. And where I'm going with this is Rodon's outing yesterday. Now, listen, I have been very clear on our show that I have mixed feelings about Carlos Rodón, okay? I'm not a huge Carlos Rodón defender. However, yesterday he suffered under the oppression of this horrible umpire who walked batters and then he gave up the home run. Okay, listen. Overall, I didn't even think Carlos Rodón looked that bad yesterday. Was he great? Was he on his ace stuff? No, but it was snowing. It was cold. It was whatever. But it wasn't that bad either. Okay, but listen, six innings pitched. He gave up 4 hits. That's not that great. 6 runs, horrible. 5 earned runs, horrible. Only 3 walks. That's not that bad. 8 strikeouts. That's pretty good. Only 1 home run. The problem is the bases had runners when he gave up that home run. Why do they have runners? Because the ump him so bad. Okay, so here's what I want to say. And then I'm going to throw it over to you, Heck, okay? This is the last thing I want to say. After MLB showed us the ABS system, how quickly it works and how effective it works over spring training, we have the final stats. And this is what I want to read, and then I'll throw it over to you, Heck. 52.2% of the ball strikes calls were overturned using ABS. That tells me that more than half of the time, these umps are getting the call wrong. And this system held them accountable. 2% of called pitches were challenged. So I don't want to hear you say, oh, it's going to slow down the game. They're going to challenge every pitch. No, only 2% of the pitches were challenged by the batter, the catcher, or the pitcher. And in that 2%, 52 were overturned. It is important. And then in 80% of the spring training games, there were only 5 or fewer challenges. So this is not something that's going to affect every single at-bat, every single inning, no. But it's a system that is in place. When it affects an at-bat that's going to affect an inning that will end up affecting the game, there you can hold the umpire accountable. Heck, what do you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. But before we continue, I want to shout out my guy Richie Riviera from the Empire State of Baseball. ESB is in the building. Shout out my guy Richie Rivera. How you doing? Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la isla, is in the building. Anthony Medina, Ajopo, as well to my guy. And shout out to Richie Gonzalez as well. Our friend Ken is in the building. I gotta throw the horns out for our good friend Ken. Ken, appreciate you. But no, Grace, just like you and Anna Marie said, we need the ABS system next year. I know the collective bargaining agreement is going to be coming up soon, but you saw it in spring training and you saw it in yesterday's game, how Carlos Rodón and Austin Wells, shout out to the passive aggressive daddies that they are, because whenever there was a pitch that they felt was wrong, they were tapping their heads like the ABS system and stuff like that. And it came to a point that the umpire got visibly frustrated with it and told Carlos Rodón and Austin Wells, stop it. One more time, you guys are both out of this game. And then that's when Aaron Boone came out and they had their conversation. But you bring up the umpires, right? And it's April 8th. We haven't even had 15 to 20 games of the season, right? So I don't want to start, and I know Grace and we are never guilty of blaming the umpire or playing the game of, well, if the umpire was different, the outcome would have been different. No, it's a human element that's a part of the game. It's human error. Do we want them to be better? Absolutely. We will want that every call is down the middle, 100% accurate. But we understand in Major League Baseball, when the human element is a part of it, perfection is something that you won't get. You could try to get as close as you can to perfection. And I think that's what Major League umpire, and that's what the fans and organization should be wanting from these umpires. But when it comes down to the umpires, there's a grading system, right? Shout out to umpirescorecard.com, right? And if you go to this website, it breaks down every umpire from every game that play when it comes to their balls and strikes, when it comes to their correct calls, when it comes to their incorrect calls, right? So when you look at the New York Yankees yesterday versus the Detroit Tigers, we had Bruce Dreckman on behind the plate. And when you look at his correct calls, his accuracy, where is it at? Was 91%. This was his accuracy. His expected accuracy is 91.98%. So Major League Baseball, they already understand that he may not be the best when it comes to being accurate, because they already expect him to be at 91.98%. And I bring this up because I always like to mention, do you know, Grace, where Major League Baseball would like their umpires to be? Like, what range, what percentage does Major League Baseball want their umpires to be when it comes to getting the call correct or incorrect? To take a wild guess, what percentage do you want? I know
it's not 100.
It's definitely not 100. Major League Baseball, they want their umpires to be in the 96th percentile when it comes to the accuracy on the balls and strikes. This umpire, his expected accuracy was 91. Then you got another guy at 93, 92, 92, 93, 92, 95. None of these guys are at 96. None of them are at 96. So even to the standards of Major League Baseball, the standards that Major League Baseball wants their umpires to be in, I just showed you all the games. None of the umpires were in the 96th percentile. So I think in 2025, when you have this technology available to you, use it. And maybe the umpires may feel some type of way, right? Because automation does mean that some people lose their jobs. If we're not going to, we don't have to replace the umpire. I'm not advocating for replacing the umpire, but bring a tool in to help the umpire do their job. The same way that instant replay came in and it allowed the umpires to do their job better. The ABS system is the same way that I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I'll go even further with it. We're not even talking about necessarily the umpire rating overall, because you could be 99% accurate and only miss one call in a baseball game, and that one call changes the outcome of the entire game, makes Aaron Judge swing at low pitches when he should be laying off low pitches to work a walk or to use them to force the pitcher to throw him a better pitch to hit. But you called that low pitch a strike, and now I've got to swing at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be 99% accurate and miss one call, and it changes the outcome of the entire game. And that is what the ABS system prevents. because you can challenge that one call right then in the moment. You're not saying the umpire is trash, garbage. You're not challenging every single pitch. You have the ability to challenge the one call that has the potential to change the game, and that's why the umpires should not be threatened by the ABS system. Everybody should want to get those calls correct, and humans make mistakes. We love that part of the game.
Yeah.
We love pitch framing from our catchers. We love all these variables that give us the feeling of being at the ballpark, right? However, these pitches that affect the entire game, we need and we have a challenge system and it works. Let's use it. Can't wait.
Again, shout out to chat. Shout out to our good friend Los, who is in the building. Los from Yankees Farm, folks. If you guys aren't following Yankees Farm and Los, the way that Los covers not just the Yankees minor league system, but just minor league baseball across the board. Shout out to our good friend Los, friend of the channel, friend of the show. He will be coming up on this. Los, you know, you and I, we got to talk backstage to make some time to get our guy Los up here. But Los, good friend, good individual, great content creator. Make sure you guys go and follow our guy Los. Like I said, he does amazing work over there on Yankees Farm. Make sure you guys go and give him a sub. I want to shout out some more people that came into the building. My guy Ghost, mi hermano de la isla, is in the building. Ghost, how you doing? We got the Ace Avenue in the building. Ace, my good friend Ace, is in the building. How you doing, Ace? Make sure you guys go and follow Ace. He's doing amazing watch-alongs when it comes to covering the Yankees. Shout out to our good friend Ace. We always go and support our friends and family, and Ace is both a friend and a family over here at Uptown Sports TV. Shout out to our guy Richie Squires with the $5 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. He says that umpire went to the Angel Hernandez School of Umpiring. I'm gonna just leave that comment right there. And I just want to say,
invoking Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, and even Adrian Hernandez, when he's retired, he's catching strays out here, right? I want to bring this up real quick, then I'll put Richie Squire's chat up there. LB, who says, don't make excuses for Rodón. He was getting a lot of calls going his way as well. The umpire was bad for both teams. Rodón has always been like that. Jazz is just a fan/free swinger. No, 100%, bro. And that's why I started the conversation with Grace and I. We don't want to be guilty of playing the blame the umpire game, right? That's something that, especially April 8th. We haven't even played 15 games, 20 games of the season. I think that's something that you don't want to engage in, and a conversation that it gets lost and wasted at the beginning of the season because it is so early. We're not even 25 games into the season and we're already complaining about the umpiring. But when is that bad? And I'm going to bring this up right now. When is that bad? When he was actually the worst umpire for the entire day, literally the worst on the entire day. It's something to point at, and it's something to advocate when it comes to the ABS system. Because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I like to believe that my takes are down the middle and non-biased, right? So when it comes to the umpire, yes, a lot of calls went the Yankees' way. Yes, some of the calls went in favor of Detroit. This is what I want to say. We want to get the call right for both teams. It doesn't matter if it's just the Yankees that were watching who were fans or, and it doesn't matter if the Detroit Tiger fans are watching and they're fans of the Tigers. As a baseball fan, I want to get the call correct 100% of the time. I know if we look in the past and if we point to like the World Series with the Yankees and the postseason runs with the Yankees, if they had the replay call back in the days, that fan doesn't reach over and take the ball away from the Baltimore Orioles. Derek Jeter doesn't have that home run, and his postseason story gets told a lot different, right? I understand that. We should want the call to be corrected and be called the right way down the middle for both teams.
I understand at the end of the day, Carlos Rodón has to figure out a way to still put his team in a position to win regardless of the piss poor umpiring that we saw. Okay, that's his job. That's our team's job, is to overcome the situation and still win the game, right? I'm not trying to make excuses for that. What I'm trying to do is defend Carlos Rodón a little bit, because the discourse of everybody losing their minds over his performance yesterday, I think, is a little bit unfair. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have done better. I'm not saying that he couldn't have done better. I'm not saying that we can't expect more from him. But I'm just saying that a factor was the inconsistency of that outside pitch, because one time it would be called a strike and then the next time it would be called a ball. It's really hard to overcome something like that. So that's all I'm saying is just to take that into account. That's all.
Yeah, and Lowe's put something here that I think is very interesting. I would really love for the next CBA to require umps to present themselves for questions after a bad call or a bad day behind the plane. Absolutely, Lowe's. And I think that's something that it should be universal across the board, not just Major League Baseball. That should be in the NBA. That should be in the NFL. That should be in Major League Soccer. That should be in the NHL. Any sports organization or any sports league, that should be one of the requisites that if you're an umpire, after each game, you should present yourself to the media for questioning, right? Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. Because after the baseball game, which you guys understand is like after that ninth inning, you know, they got the manager's press conference after the game. You know, all of us, we all go to the press conference after the game. And then after that press conference, we go running into the locker rooms to have conversation with the players. You can let it be in that window right after you talk to the players when the umpires are leaving. Right? There's a perfect window to have that time. If the umpires want to decompress and wind out, you got 15 minutes that the umpire is talking to the media. Then you got another 15 to 30 minutes that the media is talking to the players when they go into the visiting clubhouse, right? That right there alone is 45 minutes for the umpires to gather their bearings, talk to whoever their union shop is to try to figure out, okay, what are we going to say to the media? Okay, Fulano got these 5 calls wrong. Grace, how am I going to go about it? It gives them time to prepare themselves in order to talk to the media. So I definitely do agree with that, Los. The Ace Avenue with the $5 super chat, helping us keep the lights on over here. Appreciate you, Ace, who says, when an up misses a call, I expect them to get the mask ripped off like Scooby-Doo to reveal it's Angel Hernandez under it. Absolutely, Ace. Listen, shout out to Angel Hernandez. I know he gets beat up a lot when it comes to these conversations, especially with the umpires messing up on calls. But in 2025, all jokes aside, in 2025, if there's one thing that we can advocate for, I think we should all be advocating that the games, the calls are corrected. The calls get called the right way, regardless if it's for your team or against your team. If you're an actual baseball fan, if you actually love the game of baseball, you will want the game to get called the right way down the middle for either team, no matter your fan biases.
It's MLB's fault because they showed us that they have a system that works and then they took it away from us. We're like a baby with a little toy. You gave us a toy and we started playing with it. We liked it. Then you ripped it away from us and now we're crying. And that's your fault because you gave us the toy in the first place. So yeah, I want it and I'm crying. I want my toy back and I want it.
I want to shout out Froggy in the chat. Shout out my guy Frog who says, I hope the CBA has a rule where Scott Boras is banned for representing players in the future. Shout out to my guy Froggy who is in the building. Appreciate you, Froggy. Salute, salute, salute. We got Sean Browning who is in the building. Our good friend FL Diver. How you doing? Big time Jerry is in the building. Big time Cadell. Jerry, I hope all is well with you, my guy. Appreciate you. Now, you know, besides the umpire things, right? Let's have a conversation because we have to give some credit to Aaron Judge, number 99, starting the season on fire. 325 batting average, 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. He has an OPS of 1.276. The 4 Trained Savages on Twitter, they put it out there. Aaron Judge is strictly about his business this season. He heard the disrespect after the playoffs. Yankee fans could be in for a crazy season when it comes to the captain, number 99. Grace, what's your thoughts?
Is that good? Is 1.276 OPX good? I don't know because last time I checked, MLB had him ranked at like 5th or 6th best player in the league. They are so out. I can't stand the Yankee hate and the disrespect. This man is the best player in baseball, period. That's a period. That's a period. That's a period. And I don't want to hear nothing about Shohei Ohtani, 2-way player. He's a 1-way player until further notice. I have not seen him throw a baseball since God was a boy, okay? So let me tell you, Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. And don't bring up Bobby Witt Jr. to me either. That's a joke. He's cute. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball.
Listen, number 99, number put me on your back, Aaron Judge. What more can you say about the captain? Shout out to my guy, Caleb Vasquez, in the building. This one where they got to come the fuck through already. Absolutely. Absolutely, Caleb. I 100% agree with you. I'm tired of one day it's 70 degrees and the next day it's 20 degrees. Like, I'm worried, right? Because I'm supposed to be covering the Mets game tomorrow and it's like 25 degrees and I can't just not show up once you get your credentials. You got to show up unless they cancel the game beforehand. So I'm looking forward to being outside at Citi Field in 25-degree weather.
I wish they would have canceled the game yesterday.
I want to shout out Ken in the building. Shout out to our good friend Ken, who says, Hector and Grace, keep doing what you're doing. Here is a dono to keep the lights on. Appreciate you, Ken. I'm going to keep that chat right there. Again, appreciate everybody who was in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button, hit that subscribe button. On YouTube, we got close to 50 people watching us. We're sitting at 27 likes. So if you guys can, smack that like button. Let's try to get more people in the building. Hit that subscribe button. When it comes to the subscribers, we are sitting at 4,984, 16 away from 5K. So help us out when it comes to the subscribers. Grace, I put a video out on Instagram because of how cold the weather is. I want to play it for you real quick and make you laugh. Hold on, where's it at? Right here. Hold on, let me bring it up on screen.
Shit getting out of hand now. Shit getting out of hand now.
It is.
Shit getting out of hand.
It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand with the cold. They was playing yesterday. It was snowing. What was your thoughts when you saw the snow during the game?
I couldn't believe it. I was taking video and texting it to my husband while he was working. You're not gonna believe this baseball game I'm watching in the snow. He was like, "You're right. This is crazy." That was, as a Texan, I gotta say that was snow. Y'all Northerners were texting me saying, "Oh, it's not really snow. It's just flurries." I'm like, "Bitch, that's snow." Okay, so I know Jazz from the Bahamas over there was at least as shocked as I was to be playing a baseball game in the snow as I was to be watching it in the snow. We know he doesn't like the cold. Period. Already, we knew that, and to ask him to play baseball in the snow is wild. I really wish they would have canceled the game, but whatever. Here we are, and I saw in Jazz's story this morning that he posted a screenshot of the weather app, and he said, "I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that we're not supposed to play baseball in this." And I'm like, Jazz, hang in there.
Like nosebleed sled, it went from flurries to a full blizzard to sunny. Absolutely, they don't know what's going on over there with the weather that's in Michigan. I just hope that, again, all jokes aside, I just hope everybody's healthy. I know the weather, it kind of looked like it was affecting Carlos Rodón, 1-2 on the season with a 5.19 ERA. He did have that one inning where he gave up the 3-run home run. But like Greg Joyce put it out there, Carlos Rodón said, "I'm definitely tired of walking people. It's frustrating. I don't want to give up free bases." Again, we could point to this outing and say it was the cold. The same way against the Arizona Diamondbacks, it was cold as well in Yankee Stadium. Opening day was a lot warmer than it was these last two games. But at the same time, whether it's something that every team in Major League Baseball is dealing with right now, especially if you play on the East Coast. It's not like Carlos Rodón grew up in Puerto Rico where he's used to the warm weather. He's from Indiana. My man's used to hunting. He's used to spending time and sleeping in the woods in a sleeping bag, right? So I would expect Carlos Rodón, as the season warms up, as the weather changes, for him to get a lot more comfortable, for him to be able to control the ball a lot more. But again, trying to find the silver lining. It's one thing I'm going to say about Carlos Rodón. Los, if we're expecting you to be our 1A next to Max Fried, holding down the fort until Garrett Cole comes back, yes, it's cold. Yes, the umpire was horrible and wasn't giving you the right course. We still need you to gut it out and pitch a solid game to keep us in it. Granted, he pitched 6 innings yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. He kept us in. He was able to get us into the 6th inning, right? Pass the ball off to the bullpen. But Los, if you're going to be that ace next to Max Fried, we need you to step up and we need you to figure it out in the moment. Yes, we could complain afterwards about the umpire, but we need you to put it all together.
He only walked 3 guys. I mean, it just happened to be that they brought those runs in, I mean, it just sucks because I don't know. I feel like Carlos, he got hit by a pitch. And then he gutted it out. He played in the rain and he made it through. And now he's played in the snow. And it's just been like, his starts so far have been, the story is more than the stat line for Carlos Rodón for me right now. And I'm telling y'all, I am not a Carlos Rodón defender, but I just feel like his story, you had to watch the games. I don't know. But ultimately you're right, Heck. We still need you. We still need you to step up because the rotation, y'all, I'm starting to have major concerns about the rotation. And I know it's only been, less than 10 games or however many, 10 games, I think. But I'm starting to get a little bit antsy. And I think Brian Cashman needs to be on the phone, calling some teams and trying to see what starting pitcher he can acquire, because at this point, y'all, I really think that is going to be our area of major need and major concern. And unfortunately, it's an area of need for a lot of other clubs too. Yeah. And if we wait to the trade deadline, then we're going to be competing with other franchises that may have stronger farm systems, more to offer. You don't know. Get on the phone now. Make a deal now. Like, I know it's early, but you need to do it before you have to compete with a bunch of other teams, because all we have to offer is Spencer Jones. So no, but in all seriousness, Spencer Jones, I'm sure you're a nice guy.
Yeah, we getting Angel Hernandez catching strays, and Spencer Jones is out here catching strays as well. Shout out to my guy Keith Saunders, who was in the building, who says, did anybody else notice that the Tigers put Javi Baez in center field? Yeah, and that's because former Yankee prospect Trey Sweeney won that job and kicked him out of the shortstop job last year when they went on that run. And it's crazy that he was a former Yankee prospect that we traded for Caleb Ferguson and Victor Gonzalez. Two guys that weren't even on the postseason roster for the New York Yankees. How you doing when it comes to that? But again, shout out to my guy Keith Saunders, who's in the building. Erica Garcia is in the building. Shout out to our friend Erica. Kristen Castillo. Dennis DeVal is in the building. My guy DDV Theo Dennis is in the building, who says, how about he eliminate the fastball from his repertoire? Chef Boyardee always guaranteed to serve meatballs at the most inappropriate times. Absolutely, Dennis. Appreciate you. Ken says, my sister and nephew are in Michigan, and they had to say, it's not the code in New York. I mean, not the code in Detroit. One thing I'd say, as a New Yorker, I hate the code. I love it, and I hate it at the same damn time. Taco says, what team in the American League has surprised y'all through the first 10 games of the season? Grace, you got an answer for that one?
What team in the American League has surprised y'all through the first 10 games of the season? Can I say the Yankees?
Go ahead, say the Yankees.
Because let me explain why. Because our offense has been like this super high octane offense that nobody thought that was going to be the story going in. Spring training, everybody thought, oh God, where are our hits going to come from? Where's our power going to come from? Cut to, we set all-time records for home runs. The slugging is off the charts for Anthony Volpe, Trent Grisham, even Peraza got a home run. We got Ben Rice with the slugging power. I mean, we got all these unlikely heroes hitting the ball out of the park, and nobody saw that coming. So honestly, I thought the bullpen, to be more specific, was going to be our greatest strength. And so far, not the case. I know we're getting some reinforcements today, actually. Ian Hamilton's coming back today. They waived
Adam Ottavino. I'm so sorry. It's just, bro, Grace, you don't know the emotional roller coaster that I've been on over the past 72 hours of Adam Ottavino getting signed and him being released and then signed again, and this morning him getting waived. My phone doesn't know what to do with the Yankee notifications when it comes to Adam Ottavino. I'm so sorry, Grace. Keep on cooking. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. What I wanted to say was, you know what still feels so different to me, Heck? And tell me if you feel this way too. Even last year, but definitely the year before that, but even last year, there were big holes in our lineups to where when there were certain people at bat, I thought, oh, this inning's over. Oh, this, he'll fly out, he'll pop out, he'll ground out. Here comes a double play, right? Even last year, I thought that. This year, I don't think that about anyone on the lineup. No matter who is at bat, I'm like, okay, we can get something going here. And I haven't felt that way about every single batter in the Yankees lineup in a minute. What do you think, Heck? Do you feel that way?
No, I'm right there with you when it comes to this Yankee lineup. When you look at last year, even 2023, right? 2023, we were the kings of hitting and into double plays. I still feel this year, 1 through 9, adding Cody Bellinger, adding Paul Goldschmidt, it lengthens out the lineup because you have two guys who, yes, they run into the home run and they hit the home run ball, but for their career, they were also known for hitting it up the middle and going opposite field. And when you look at Paul Goldschmidt has been one of the biggest surprises to me, being in that leadoff spot and how well it has worked with him being in the leadoff spot. I think every game that he has led off for the Yankees, I think they've won. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me and in the chat. Appreciate you as well. But no, I feel when you look at this lineup, 1 through 9, the length, the difference in the lineup when you compare it to last year and years before 2023, Grace, it's just totally different. Jazz Chisholm, he's showing you signs of could be an all-star, but at the same time, he's striking out at a 40% clip. I want Jazz Chisholm to clean that up just a little bit. Anthony Volpe as well looks awesome. Talking about the lineup, I want to shout out the chat before we bring up the lineup. I have the whole lineup from yesterday's game that I want to go through. TC Stills is in the building. Our good friend TC Stills, how you doing? Li Yankee King is in the building. How you doing, Li? TC Stills says, good morning, y'all. I'm with you, Grace. I'm very concerned with the staff. It is extremely shaky to start the season. Well, some reinforcements is on the way. Did you see Clark Schmidt? How good he looked?
God, he's gonna look like
he had 7 strikeouts and 3 in the third inning. He was phenomenal. If you guys, I put his last start up. If you guys follow us, make sure you guys go to our short section. His last start, I put the highlights of it. You guys can go watch it. Like I said, filthy stuff, striking out 7 batters and 3 in the third. I think Clark Schmidt is going to be phenomenal when he comes back, especially if he looks like he just looked. Erica Garcia says, our back and pitching looks shaky without our ace and rookie of the year last season. I am not shocked. I don't think any Yankee fan is shocked about that. My guy JV is in the building. Shout out to JV. Salute. 3 capital S's. And talking about the lineup, let's break down the lineup. Ben Rice led it off. He was 1 for 2, 333 on the season. Aaron Judge was 1 for 3. He had an RBI. The only RBI on the day for the Yankees came from the captain. Then you had Cody Bellinger was 1 for 4. Paul Goldschmidt 2 for 4 from the field. 2 for 4 in yesterday's game. A 342 batting average to start the season. Jazz Chisholm 0 for 4. He had a 214 batting average. Anthony Volpe 268 was 0 for 4. Austin Wells was 1 for 4. Trent Grisham was 1 for 4 with a 423 batting average to start the season. Shout out to Trent Grisham, who's taking ABs away from Jason Dominguez. We don't like that. And then you had Oswaldo Cabrera 0 for 4 from the field. Grace, I'll toss it over to you. In yesterday's game, I know Aaron Judge had the only RBI. Anything else stood out in yesterday's game? I'll leave the lineup there for you.
Yeah, I do want to mention that the fly out that Grisham hit in the 9th inning would have been a home run in 10 major league ballparks. So even though he flied out in the 9th, he's still making really good contact, and in 10 ballparks it would have been a home run. So he's still really, really producing and really on fire. You can't even get him. Should have been 2 for 4, but whatever. Still 1 for 4 is great. Wells has been striking out a little bit more, but I saw some good stuff from him yesterday. A couple good at bats from him, and he did have a hit. That was good. Jazz is chasing. He's trying to hit that long ball all the time.
Yeah.
I need you on base, my guy. I need you on base so you can steal 50 bags for us this year. He's got so many tools available, and when he does this, it takes that tool out of not only for the team, but out of his own tool belt. But you know what I want to say? I was talking about the lineup and how I feel like there's no hole in the lineup, and like everybody who comes to bat, I feel like there's a possibility that we could get something going. The Yes Network threw up a graphic the other day that said that this was like 2 days ago, day before yesterday. The New York Yankees 7 through 9 hitters are producing a .337 batting average with 29 hits, 8 home runs, and a 1.110 OPS. That's the 7 through 9 hitters. So again, like we were saying, the lineup, it just feels long. It feels like there's no holes. These lineups have been interesting, creative, that Boone has been putting out. Look at today's 7 through 9. Austin Wells, Trent Grisham, Oswaldo Cabrera.
Bingo. Lakers in 5.
That's our 7 through 9. You see what I'm saying? So in that way, I'm seeing some really exciting stuff from the offense. You know, good luck against Scooble, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, good luck against Tariq Skubal. If there was ever a time, and Tariq Skubal has been, and here's the thing, I think he has an ERA that's over 5 right now. He started the season bad, and it goes back to his last start in the postseason when the Tigers got eliminated. Tariq Skubal hasn't been the best version of himself, and Keith, I'm glad you caught that. He hasn't been the best version of himself over his past few starts, so it would be the Yankees' luck that Tariq Skubal shows up and he becomes dominant and he just shows out and he returns into his ace form from last year. But no, it's great. And you pointed out great on the Yankees graphic team for bringing that up. And that's something that you and we both talked about. We already know what Judge is going to do. We already know what the top of the lineup is going to do. You could throw Cody Bellinger and you could throw, Goldsmith into that conversation. The key for the Yankees this season is the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. What are the 7, 8, and 9 hitters going to do? How is that part of the lineup going to stretch out the game and pass the torch to the beginning, to the start of the lineup when it flips back over to the top, when you have your 1, 2, and 3 hitters coming up? And I think that's a great point. Anthony Volpe, we got to give some credit to Anthony Volpe, El Calzone, to start the season. I know he was 0 for 4 yesterday, but a .268 batting average, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs for Anthony Volpe, and his defense, that Pittsburgh series, he put on a clinic defensively, Grace. And I know a lot of Yankee fans, especially this offseason, especially in this chat, we keep them receipts, y'all. There was a lot of Yankee fans that were saying that Anthony Volpe's not him. The Yankees need to move on from him. They need to just play Peraza at shortstop. I got a guy named Johnny on TikTok who's been saying that Peraza needs to be the shortstop and not Anthony Volpe. When you look at Anthony Volpe, he has had a phenomenal start to the season. He has 4 home runs. The defense has been amazing. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Anthony Volpe. Grace, what's your thoughts? FDK is in the building. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm really happy with what I've been seeing out of Anthony Volpe. I feel like he's been having more hits that aren't home runs, which I don't mean to be complaining about home runs, but I like to see a well-rounded offensive player out of Anthony Volpe, and I think maybe he's coming around to that. So I'm really, really excited. Anthony Volpe's defense is quite literally the last thing that I am worried about on this squad. So, I mean, he makes these sparkler plays. I'm like, yeah, that's Anthony Volpe. The Anthony Volpe Jazz Chisholm middle infield is what I have been dreaming about for years. When they have their timing right and they get those double plays and stuff, oh man, it feels so good. It's amazing.
Grace, calm down over there. Grace, calm down. I know it's only 30 degrees over there, but there's a hot front in Dallas.
You are so stupid. But yes, it does. It gets me hot and bothered. Those defensive plays, the way he turned yesterday, the way he kept his glove on that guy that called him safe, and he was like, no, hell no. He looked over the dugout. He's gaining so much confidence. He's really coming into his he's not a veteran, but he's also not a rookie, right? He's coming into this kind of era of his career where he's not the new guy anymore, but he's not the old veteran, and he's just kind of coming into himself.
One of the boys. He's one of the boys. He's one of the guys, and that's how you see the maturity from Anthony Volpe, right? Yes, we see the improvement of his game on the field. We already know what his defense is, but as a hitter, you see how much improved he is from his rookie year to now. But the comfortability, the experience, that's why you cannot measure experience. You cannot put a price on experience. That's why even though the Yankees lost the way they did in the World Series against the Dodgers, who are like the villains of baseball right now, you guys already know that. But even though we lost in that facet, it's still experience for Anthony Volpe. It was still experience for Jazz Chisholm. It was still experience even for Aaron Judge. You know, even though the captain was never there before and he had that blunder, it was still experience for Aaron Judge. And you cannot put a price on experience. Shout out to my guy, Keith Saunders, who says, Cody Bellinger is out of the lineup today. Food poisoning from some bad chicken wings. LOL. Don't eat the chicken wings in the tray. And I think my guy Keith knows about that as former service member. He probably was out there in Detroit, probably had some bad chicken wings. Shout out to my guy Keith Saunders in the building. Eddie Snap says, Grace, isn't it great? We finally have defense at second base. Isn't it great, Grace, that we have a second baseman who can pick it at his position? Absolutely.
Yes.
Shout out to Jazz Chisholm, the evolution of Jazz Chisholm. I know a lot of people like to paint him as a villain. I love Jazz. I love his swag. I love how he carries himself. I done told him that so many times at the stadium. I love the fact that he's into anime because people have been killing me for years because I'm an anime nerd. So shout out to Jazz Chisholm for making anime cool again. For the coach, it says the Volpedo. Shout out to For the Coach in the building. LA Yankee King says, oh, so wait, Hector. You give young players time and they will actually develop. OMG. I wonder if anyone told this fan base that. No, LA, I don't think anybody's ever told this fan base that. But Grace, talking about development, Jason Dominguez wasn't in the lineup. Trent Grisham has been on fire. What's your thoughts on this emergence of Trent Grisham, a.k.a. Barry Bonds in disguise?
Every time.
If anybody has a Scooby-Doo mask on, it's Trent Grisham because it's Barry Bonds hiding under that mask.
Every time he does anything, I'm like, that's a Texas boy. That boy's from Texas. Fort Worth, shout out, Texas. Y'all are going to get so sick of me leaving the Texas flag.
Erica, yes, I watch Solo Leveling. I'm so sorry, Grace. Go ahead.
What is that?
It's an anime. Don't judge us, please.
I don't even know what that is. Okay, so yes, we're very, very proud of him down here in the great state of Texas. He is an old school player, no batting gloves, just straight up swag. I mean, not even like trying swag, like I'm cool, I'm young, I'm aura, just like I'm about that work. And if you like it, cool, and if you don't, whatever. He made a catch the other day. He was full out sprinting. The ball was coming in over his head, and he literally didn't even look. I said, did this boy just make a no-look catch in the outfield? A no-look catch over his head. And he looked just like annoyed. Like just annoyed that he had to run. Caught it, whatever. Didn't even look. It was crazy. So obviously we all love what we're seeing from Trent Grisham right now. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think it's going to affect Jason Dominguez's playing time that much. I feel like he needed a rest. He hadn't had that many rests. He'd been getting a lot of starts, Jason. And with the pitcher on the mound, I wasn't that surprised. Also, Bellinger had a couple of days rest, so they were getting him back in. So I didn't really read that much into it yesterday. But today, as you see, Grisham's in the order and Dominguez is in the order. So again, but Bellinger's out. But this is great. This is what depth is, y'all. We haven't had depth for so long. We didn't even know what having depth is like. Isn't it great? We have an amazing person coming off the bench who is actually contributing. It's amazing.
Dennis said, let's be serious, y'all. We traded for Trent Grisham, not Juan Soto. Shout out to my guy Dennis in the chat. Appreciate you. And absolutely, Erica, Solo Leveling is phenomenal. Back to baseball. I'm gonna send you some videos so you can see what we're talking about. Anywho, hot take from LI Yankee King, because LI Yankee King never gives hot takes, right, Grace? Hot take, with Ben Rice hitting the way he is, I would restructure Giancarlo Stanton to a 1-year, $66 million deal. LI, I love you, bro. What are you talking about, Li?
You know what my daddy used to say to me? My daddy used to say, Gracie, you really need to learn how to form an opinion. Basically saying that like I had strong opinions about everything.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
shout
I
out-
want to say to Li.
Shout out to my guy, Li Yankee King. Li, I love you, baby. Just know that, baby. I always love you. One thing I want to talk about also, you saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 14 years, $500 million from the Toronto Blue Jays. It happened late Sunday night, early Monday morning. And Grace, I'm gonna tell you this right now. It was not surprising to me that they came out and they offered him that contract extension during the season. Do you know why?
Why?
Because who did they just play? The New York Mets.
I heard.
Met fans, let it be known. Every time Vlad came up to play, they were showering him with love. They were showering him with cheers. They had signs that said, "We want you in Queens." You think the Rogers ownership group didn't pay attention to that? You think that ownership group from Toronto didn't see that and didn't panic and just gave Vladimir Guerrero Jr. that bag? I tell you this right now. Watching Vlad interact with Lindor, interact with Soto, interact with Starling Marte, you could tell they was in his ear. Because when I was outside of the Mets clubhouse on Sunday, all I heard was Dominican Dembow music. That's all I heard. Standing outside of the Mets clubhouse that Sunday, waiting for interviews, that's all I heard was Dominican Dembow music. You had Starling Marte, Grace, walking out of the clubhouse. He had his big ass AirPods on. He had shorts. He was eating tres golpe, which is mango, salami, and cheese, is Dominican dish, walking around having a good time. Him, Frankie Montas, Francisco Lindor. It's a family affair over there. So they panicked and they gave Vladimir Guerrero Jr. that money that he wanted. Shout out to Vlad for getting his contract. Merc So Saucy is in the building. How you doing? Go ahead, Grace.
It was a no-brainer for the Blue Jays to re-sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's the face of the franchise, and guess what? He actually wants to be there. He actually wants to stay in Canada, where nobody else seems to want to go. You have money. Nobody wants to take it from you. Just give Vladdy what he wants and call it a day. Yeah. And you're saying that they saw that the Mets wanted him. Well, guess what, baby? If he would have hit free agency, the Mets wouldn't have been the only team wine and dine in 69. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So, yeah, good for the Blue Jays. Good for Vladdy. Congrats
good
on
for
getting
baseball.
the money.
Good for baseball.
Absolutely.
That Toronto was able to keep their homegrown superstar for the rest of their career.
Absolutely.
Good for baseball. I'm with you for the culture. Nah, Canada looks good nowadays. Shout out to for the culture that is in the chat. Folks, we got over 103 people are watching us right now collectively. If you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When it comes to subscribers, we are at 4,985 subscribers, 15 away from 5K. We just need 15 more and we will cross the 5K mark over here on YouTube. I just want to bring up the pitching side of things real quick. Carlos Rodón, 6 innings, 4 hits, 6 runs. 5 of those were earned runs. He walked 3. He struck out 8. He had a 5.19 ERA on the season. Adam Ottavino, he only pitched a third of an inning before the Yankees, shipped him away because he walked 2 batters. He couldn't get nobody out. And then you had Tim Hill, who came in. And I think that the way that the Yankees have been maneuvering their bullpen, I kind of like it. Minus the Mark Leiter move against the Diamondbacks, that's the only time why I'm second guessing Aaron Boone. Besides that, I think Aaron Boone is stretching out his guys a little bit to get extra outs if we're winning the game, keeping some guys in a lot longer to try to get those free outs. But so far, so good. I like the way that the Yankees have been handling their bullpen in this early stretch of the season.
Boone came out after that game, the Diamondback game, and said that if they'd that Weaver would have come into the 9th. That was his plan. And at the time, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense then why he didn't put Weaver in. But then like an hour later, I was still thinking about it because I just can't get over this stuff because the Yankees just run my life. They don't even know who I am. But anyway, I was thinking about it and I thought, wait, no, who cares about the 9th? That was the game. That was the game. So it's like, an old school mentality to think like, oh, my closer plays in the ninth. Well, yeah, that's all well and good, but what if the game is not in the ninth and the game happens in the eighth or the seventh, and that's the high leverage situation that you need your best pitcher to be out there? That's Luke Weaver at the time. And also, can we please talk about Devin Williams?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, nah. Listen,
right.
I know he blew the game. He blew the game against the Pirates. I understand that, right? He just came back. He was gone for how long? He just came back. Let this man just find himself. I know his first few outings was shaky, especially opening day at Yankee Stadium, allowing some guys to get on base. I know. But listen, it's early in the season. Right now, Aaron, do you know who is tied with Aaron Judge with 6 home runs and is leading all of Major League Baseball? Can you tell me who is tied with him right now with Aaron Judge?
Who?
Exactly. His name is Tyler Soderstrom. He is the first baseman from the Athletics. I can't even say Oakland. He is the first baseman from the Sacramento, Las Vegas, Oakland. I don't have a home. A's, right? Is Tyler Soderstrom going to keep that up for the rest of the season? No, he is not going to hit over 50 or 60 home runs. If he does, I'm gonna look stupid, and I'll come back and say that I'm stupid, and I'll say that I was sorry. But it's the beginning of the season. Let Devin Williams just figure it out, and I think Devin Williams will be all right. But I'm not going to be the one that says I'm not nervous, because I'm a little bit nervous. But I think Devin Williams will figure it out, and he'll be good.
This is what I want to say about Devin Williams.
He might.
Now, everybody said that this guy was the best closer in baseball. And that's what the statistics said. That's what Baseball Reference. I mean, that's what everybody said that this guy was going to be. I don't watch NL Central baseball, okay? And God knows if I could help it, I would never watch NL Central baseball, okay? But coming over to the AL East, he was somewhat of an unknown to me. Yeah, I saw him pitch a little bit, but not a day in, day out type of exposure, right?
You weren't watching him every day.
No, I wasn't watching him. And this is what I'm going to say. I realize it's only been, 3 appearances he's had, I think? Mm-hmm. But this is what I'm going to say, and I think this is fair to say. This is my opinion, and I'm going to say, I'm going to, I can't think of the word, but I'm going to say that this is an early opinion and that I understand. I'm unimpressed so far. And I think that's fair to say. I am unimpressed so far. Now, does that mean
I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. That's fair to say, yeah.
I don't see a lot of dog in him that I like to see in a closer. He seems pretty even, which can work really well for a closer. It's not my preferred style of a closer, but, that's what Mariano was. He was just even, right? He was just like cool all the time. But I am waiting to be impressed. I am waiting to see. That's what I feel like. I'm not ready to tar and feather him or run him out of New York, but I am unimpressed so far, and I'm waiting to see. And that's all I got to say about that.
Froggy says, hey, you watch it, Grace. I watch NL Central Baseball. I only watch to Paul Skeens and Ellie De La Cruz. So shout out to my guy, Froggy. Who says, if you're going to watch NL Central Baseball, those are 2 good players to watch right there. So that's pretty fair. And like Grace says, not everyone can be the ferocious jungle cat that Weaver is. And hold on, wait. Keith put it in the chat, right? Like HQ told me many years ago, Keith and I was having this conversation at Yankee Stadium. When pitchers switch leagues, going from the National League to the AL or going from the AL to the National League, there's a time of adjustment. There's a time of adjustment not only to the players, not only to the coaching staff, but to the ballparks, right? It's different ballparks that you're pitching in and day out. Granted, he was pitching in Pittsburgh, a stadium that he is familiar with because he pitched with the Brewers, right? I understand that. But he needs he needs some time to just find himself, get comfortable. And like I said, he just came back from his child being born. So I don't want to just automatically write Luke Weaver off. I think somebody put it in the chat. I lost the comment, but who said that Yankee fans, we were spoiled with Mariano. We have been spoiled with Mariano. We were spoiled with Derek Jeter, Andy Pettit, Bertie Williams, Mariano. We were spoiled with the core 4, the core 5. We were spoiled by the late 90s. So now we always compare any Yankee that's wearing the uniform today to those players that we grew up idolizing. That's why I think it's unfair that Yankee fans compare Anthony Volpe to Derek Jeter. There will never be another Derek Jeter. Stop comparing Volpe to Jeter. I think it's unfair that every closer that the New York Yankees get after Mariano, we're quick to compare them to Mariano. Stop it. There's not that many closers that are like Mariano. We had one guy that was able to replace Mariano for 1 year, and that's because Mariano got injured. That was Rafael Soriano, right? That was the only time we found a guy that we was comfortable with him being our closer. We had some stretches with Aroldis Chapman. We had a nice little cup of coffee with Clay Holmes, but nobody has been as great or as dominant as Mariano. And I think Yankee fans need to lower their expectations when it comes to measuring or comparing current Yankees with former Yankees greats.
I don't mean to compare him to Mariano.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you.
No, I don't feel attacked. But I just want to say, I do expect him to get swing and misses and not walk guys. And I do expect him to intimidate the batters on the mound that know that he's the best closer in baseball. But he doesn't. He didn't look like that to me. He looks like he's throwing weak stuff. He's getting weak. I mean, let me not go on and on. But the guy, he doesn't look happy to be in the Bronx. I'm not sure he is. I don't know if he's fitting in well. We changed the beard rule for him, and I'm just unimpressed so far. I want him to be amazing. Yeah. And I tweeted out the other day, and it was a joke. It was a joke because it was while he was out on paternity leave. And, congratulations to him and his new son and his family, and that's great. He was out on paternity leave, and Luke Weaver closed the game. And I tweeted out, Devin Williams just got moved to setup guy. I was joking, but now I'm like, wait a minute. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to move. I don't think they'll move Devin Williams because he's entering free agency at the end of this year, and he wants to enter free agency as a closer, and that's what they got him for. That's what they're going to do. Yeah. And we have seen that Aaron Boone is willing to die on a hill of people who blow saves. He's no problem.
The only way the Yankees move off of Devin Williams being the closer is if we get to the All-Star break and Devin Williams' ERA is over 4 or over 5 and has blown double-digit saves. That's the only way the Yankees are moving off of Devin Williams as a closer. Not only because he's going to free agency, he wants to be a closer. You got to remember, this is a guy that Brian Cashman has had his eyes and targeted on for years, and the guy that he's been wanting to get. He finally got his guy, and Brian Cashman is not just going to just get off of that experiment because the first couple of weeks of the season has been rocky. I don't think that's going to happen. LB in the chat says all good closers blow up games nowadays, but it's all about the attitude. Helsley, Munoz, Clase, they blow up games as well. But when they're right, they're intimidating opponents. Williams is not that. Let's see if Williams can figure it out, LB. As of right now, I can agree with you with the comment that you said. Again, it's not that unfair when it comes to the criticism because he has been shaky. He hasn't looked like Devin Williams in the past. So it's warranted to have some criticism. Is it warranted to be too critical? I'm not sure. If I'm jumping off of that cliff, I'm trying to be too critical because I've seen some Yankee fans with some crazy takes, and I'm not one that's going to have a crazy take. But LB, I can agree with you. Right now, I don't see no intimidation coming from Devin Williams when he is on that mound as a closer. Maybe as time goes on, maybe he gets a lot more comfortable. Maybe he figures it out. Maybe if his beard grows back, he looks a lot more intimidating because that face don't scare me. That's all I got to say about that.
His beard is back. His beard looks fine.
It's not like before. It wasn't as thick as it was before. It was not as thick as it was before. But no, chat, folks in the chat, like I said, we got over 100 people watching us collectively. We're sitting at 38 likes on YouTube. If you guys can, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's try to get to as close as we can to 50 likes on the stream. Grace, I want to toss it over to you. Any topics or anything that's rattling around in your brain over there?
Any topics rattling around in my brain? This is what I want to say. Mm-hmm. We need do we make a call to get Sandy Alcantara. I'm not sure how to say his name. Is it Alcantara or Alcantara? I'm not sure. I don't mean any
Alcantara.
disrespect.
Alcantara.
Alcantara. Okay, Alcantara.
You gotta roll those R's, Grace. Alcantara.
Make a call. Make a call. And see what they want. Make a call to San Diego. Ask them what's going on with Michael King. Are you willing to make it? What's going on? Like I think we need to get on the stick early, and that's my thoughts. I know we're getting Clark Schmidt back. That's gonna be great. Clark Schmidt is gonna look like Sandy Koufax in this order. In this rotation. I'm very concerned about Marcus Stroman, and y'all know I like Marcus Stroman. I really do like him. And I was a Marcus Stroman defender this offseason with his comments and with all the stuff that he was going through. And I'm not shying away from that. I still like Marcus Stroman as a person, but I have been unimpressed with what I've seen from him as well this year so far. I know it's early, but I'm worried about Marcus Stroman. I'm worried about Devin Williams a little bit, not as much as Marcus Stroman. I'm worried about Carrasco's longevity in our rotation. I'm worried about Will Warren. I'm worried. I've got some worries, okay? But surprisingly, none of them are about the lineup or the offense. They're all about pitching. So I know we heard that Loizaga should be back in June. That's great news. Ian Hamilton's coming back today. That's great news. And we're getting Clark Schmidt back in probably about 8 days, they said. That's fantastic news. But these are my concerns as of right now. You asked me what's on my mind. Michael King's on my mind. Sandy Alcantara is on my mind. And anybody else who is open, I say the Padres because, and I know they're making a run and they're great, but their GM has been very clear that he takes phone calls all the time. So it's worth a phone call, okay? It's just worth a phone call just to see. The Marlins aren't doing anything, so you can go ahead and call them. But that's my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Grace. Merk, I think she was just talking about San Diego when it comes to Michael King. Sandy, I don't think that the Yankees, he's looked awesome to start the season. I don't think the Yankees, they have the prospect capital in order to get a Sandy deal done, because the Yankees aren't going to be the only team calling up for him. The Mets are going to be calling up for him. Every other team in Major League Baseball is going to be coming up and calling for Sandy Alcantara, right? Sandy he's won a Cy Young in the past. He's been an ace in the past. He got injured, and that fastball still looks phenomenal. He's still touching 100 on his fastball. Go ahead, Grace.
But remember last year, everybody was talking about Arise. And they were like, oh, we'll probably make a move for him later. Multiple teams. And then what happened? The Marlins traded him early in the season. And that's what I'm saying. Call them now before the Mets start calling, before the Reds, before all these other people start calling. Call them now. Get the deal done.
I agree with you. I think, one, like Erica says, a Yankees tax, but also the pitching is such a high commodity in Major League Baseball, especially when you have a guy like Sandy, when you have a ace like Alcantara. That right there, to me, the value of that is far outweighing the value of Luis Arraez. Luis Arraez, I agree with you, Grace. Phenomenal leadoff hitter, amazing hitter. He's going to hit over 300. But when you look at the value, what does the team value more? I think Sandy's value is up here, and I think Luis Arraez is right here. San Diego panicked. They overpaid in prospect for Luis Arraez, and I think with Sandy, the Marlins, they're going to sit back and wait to get the most that they can for a trade for Sandy. But if I was the Marlins, because of the injury concerns in the past, I would try to get a deal done a month before the trade deadline, because every time Sandy goes out there, you're risking him getting hurt. You're risking not being able to trade him at the highest value where he's at right now. So I'm with you, Grace. I see it as 50-50. One, if I'm the Marlins, I'm trying to maximize the most I can get back in a return. But on the flip side, I need to try to trade Sandy right now before he injures himself and I can't get anything back for Sandy. So I'm with you, Grace.
I totally agree, and I'm glad you brought up about the injuries because that is the point I wanted to make. What do you think the price of Sandy will be once the Yankees have another injury in their rotation? Because God knows our rotation is being held together by Scotch tape right now. And if we have, God forbid, one more injury, and then we're in a spot we really, really don't want to be in. Okay. So that's why I'm saying call right now.
Automatically, if you're the Marlins, you're starting the conversation with George Lombard. You're starting the conversation with George Lombard. And if the Yankees say no to George Lombard, I'm hanging up the phone. And when you look at the other teams and their potential trade packages, the Mets automatically, because they have higher ranked prospects, could put a better offer together than the Yankees can. The Red Sox, all the Red Sox have to do is offer one of their top prospects, Osel Meyer or Roman Anthony, which I don't think they'll give up Roman Anthony or anything like that. All they have to do is trade one of their top prospects, and Sandy Alcantara is pitching in Boston, right? So I think I don't know what the package would be for the Yankees, but what I could say and what I could say confidently is that other teams will have way better prospect packages than the Yankees could ever put together for a guy like Sandy on his level. There's no way that the Yankees can put together if you're the Marlins, you're starting the conversation, Grace, with George Lombard and Jason Dominguez. That's who you're starting the conversation with those two guys. And if the Yankees say no, I'm hanging up the phone.
I would call and find out.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, call and find out.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what's on my mind.
Yeah, but no,
I heard Blake Snell went down the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers may have a need. God knows they have so much pitching, but they're wild out there. They're willing to do anything.
And when you look when you look at the Dodgers, you see Roki Sasaki. He hasn't been amazing. Right. Yeah. I know his last start was a lot better, but his command's not there. When you look at Shohei Ohtani, he still hasn't pitched yet. Yamamoto, is he going to be on an innings limit? How long or how far would they let Yamamoto go off the leash? Right. So the Dodgers, they have questions when it comes to their starting staff, the same way that the Yankees do, the same way that the Boston Red Sox do, the same way how most every other team in baseball has questions in their starting rotation.
Yeah. Nestor's on the IL again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Glasnow is dealing with something too. I mean, there are going to be, obviously, pitching is always the highest need for any team usually. So that's why I'm saying don't wait, do it now. Do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now.
Yeah.
If we're going to get anything done, it's going to be early because like you said, we can't compete. We can't compete at the deadline. So
I'm laughing at Nathaniel Crenshaw. My Dodgers are fine. We have zero flaws, guys. Absolutely, Nathaniel. Shout out to Nathaniel Crenshaw. One thing I got to say about Nathaniel is, even though he is a diehard Dodgers fan, Nathaniel is in our chats every day for every show that we do. Every Yankee show, Nathaniel is here showing love. When the Mets show's on Thursday, Nathaniel pops in here or there and says hi. But every Yankee show we do, Nathaniel is always in the chat showing love. One of the first people in the chat from the beginning of the stream to the end of the stream. So Nathaniel, always got to give you your flowers on that, my guy. Appreciate you. Salute, salute. 3 capital S's to you. Folks, we got over 100 people watching us. We got over 40 people on YouTube. We're sitting at 41 likes on the stream on YouTube. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Let's try to get up to 50 likes on the stream, and please share this out. Let's get more subscribers. We are literally 15 subscribers away from 5K. The last thing I want to do before we get out of here, I want to shout out the chat. One of the best chats that are out there on YouTube, our good friend TC Stills. TC Stills, appreciate you, big guy. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you so much. Ocean Views and Coffee Shop is in the building. Keith Saunders, my brother, is in the building. My guy JV is in the building. LB is in the building. Anna Marie LeBeau is in the building as well. Big time, Jerry Cadell. I appreciate you. Also, our good friend, Mr. Merck. So saucy. How you doing? Folks, we're going to drop the chat for the open panel. We're just going to rock out for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 more minutes. If anybody want to come up just to give their one Yankee take, make it fast. Like I said, just 10, 15 minutes. And then we're going to be ending the stream because the Yankees play at 1 o'clock. So this is kind of like a pre-show, right? So the Yankees play at 1 o'clock today. Pitching for the New York Yankees. Hold on, let me bring it up right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up on the screen because Grace, you sent to me You sent to me the lineup for the day, so give me a second to pull it up real quick so we could talk about it. Talking Yankees have put it out.
Time, I said Cookie Carrasco. Carrasco's on the mound. I said, well, he's not going to go that deep. He did. And the whole time I was thinking, you know what? I feel bad that on our pod this morning I said that he wasn't going to go deep, maybe 3 innings. He gave us some length, surprisingly. So good for him. You know, he kept us in the game. He gave us a chance to win. That's all you can ask from a starting pitcher. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Carrasco has to offer today. You know, if nothing else, he has a veteran presence on the mound. And with so many young guys, you know, that's worth something. So we'll see how he does tonight with the Tigers lineup, minus Glaber. Oh, you're muted, Heck. You're muted. But I sent Hector the lineup a second ago. So let me pull it up. Oh, you're good, Heck. I think you're...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Copy. All right. So yeah, I have it right here. Let me share it out on the screen. Because we got the official one from the New York Yankees. And shout out to the Yankees graphic department. I like the vintage graphic looks, like the collage looks. It's awesome. So for the New York Yankees, you got Paul Goldschmidt leading it off. You got Ben Rice as the DH. Aaron Judge is in right field. Jazz Chisholm is cleaning it up at second base. Anthony Volpe, El Calzone is a shortstop. Then you got Austin Wells, Jason Dominguez. You got Trent Grisham, Oswaldo Peraza. Pitching for the New York Yankees is Cookie Carlos Carrasco's on the mound for the New York Yankees. So we got 3 people that are backstage. I'm just going to bring them in all at once. We got TC Stills, we got Erica, and we got our good friend Jonathan backstage. So I'm bringing everybody at once. Folks, how you doing? Welcome to the conversation.
What up?
Hi.
What's up, guys?
Well, let's go backwards, Cap.
Backwards Cap. Let's go backwards Cap. We're going backwards Cap. Backwards Cap energy. This is what we're doing.
I'll join Grace on this one.
You're going to grow your hair out, Jonathan?
Don't push it.
Man. So folks, how you doing? How you feeling? Erica, I'll toss it over to you. Let's get your take when it comes to these past few games and this game with the Yankees in Detroit with it snowing and the weather outside is frightful.
I just wanted to start this off by saying, relax with the Rodón slander. I've seen so many people just saying that he's a trash pitcher, and I think that that's crazy. I agree with Grace. If you guys watch the game, then you would have a different narrative because there's a lot, like obviously elements and all that, but the umpire played a part in that there would never been a 3-run home run if he called the strike correctly. But also, you know, Oswaldo Cabrera making an error. Like, I'm tired. That's what's getting me most frustrated is seeing the sloppy play continue, right? You said that you've bolstered the defense, but I'm still seeing, and like just small fundamentals being focused on, and I'm still seeing those boneheaded errors happening or just boneheaded mistakes. Ben Rice getting picked off. Credit to their catcher. That was a great throw, but you can't be caught sleeping there. Bellinger striking out. Not striking out, but he ended up moving the runner over against Pittsburgh. But to take the bat out of Aaron Judge's hands in extra innings, another annoying like situation. You just have to understand your situation. So that's been frustrating. But yeah, the Rodón slander, let's relax on that. Jazz needs to stop trying to keep up with Judge. Dude, you have speed. Just put the ball in play and you can, do some damage. Like a single turns into a double immediately. I'm trying to think like really quick off that. But yeah, walks continue to destroy the Yankees. Like I feel like every time they give up a walk, that guy comes in as a run. Every time. Never fails. And also, can you be better in extra innings, Yankees? Come on. Every time there's a guy on second or third, I feel like it's like pulling teeth to try to get them in. That's it.
TC, I'll toss it over to you to get your take as well. Folks in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And again, we are 15 subscribers away from 5K. So let's try to do it. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I'm with Grace. I'm very concerned with the pitching staff. We got to make a move early. It's very shaky. Nobody's had a quality start. I don't think. Carrasco might have been the only one. Did he go 6? I think. But everybody else is Fried had a good game, but most of them are just not even making it past 4 innings. So,
but this was the same thing last season. What are we doing? 10 games.
Yeah, but Schmidt's coming back. That's a positive. So the bullpen hasn't looked good. Again, that's injuries, and Devin Williams was out, and he's got me concerned too, Grace. I don't know. He doesn't look as great as advertised. So, but the offense has been the bright spot. I'm happy with the offense. There's times where they wait for the home run, but we've scored a lot of runs, and the extra inning games too. When they need to score runs, they just seem like they can't do it, and that's been a problem for years, and that's got to be fixed. So I don't know. Just glad to be here. Good to see you guys, and keep up the great work.
TC's handsome face as well, Anna Marie. I miss TC's handsome face as well. Jonathan, I'm gonna toss it over to you to get your take as well. Shout out to my guy JV in the building. We got Ness in the building as well. Salute, 3 capital S's. Go ahead, Jonathan, Mr. Do Your Job.
Do my job, yeah. I'm essentially thinking the same thing everybody else is saying. The problem with the Yankees is extra innings, getting the run on base. They have to think more small ball instead of one hit, game over. And that's something they haven't thought about when it comes to extra innings. They're always trying to end the game with one swing instead of moving the runner over with a fly ball or even a bunt. I mean, sometimes you just have to put the ball in play, get the runner over, and let the next guy do his thing with 1 out. You can't. Not everybody can be the savior of the team. You have to think about it as a team. Not you're the walk-off player.
Mm-hmm.
So next time there's an extra inning game, I'm hoping that the Yankees take advantage of a small ball instead of going for the fences on the first swing.
Okay, go ahead, Grace. I'll toss it to you if you want to respond to anybody.
Yeah, I agree with Erica, and I'll agree with what everybody was saying. The extra innings game plan has not been where it needs to be. After the other day, I was like, can we please have a team meeting and just say, hey guys, when we're extra innings, that's what we do. First guy at bat moves the guy over. Second guy at bat brings the guy home. That's it. Period. We have got to score one run. Period. The Manfred man must be brought in, and the rest of the inning you can do whatever you want, but the first thing you have to do is bring in the ghost runner. No ifs, ands, exceptions, or buts. I don't want to hear anything, because that's what the other teams do, and that's why they beat us. It's ridiculous.
Can I add one thing to that statement? If they want to continue with the ghost runner, I would start it in the 12th inning rather than the 10th inning. I wouldn't start it immediately.
I'm not sure about you guys, Eric. I'll get your take as well. But me personally, I like the ghost runner. One, we understand the pressure that baseball does, right? And when you play in baseball has little room for error, right? So when you go into extra innings, to me, I feel it makes extra innings the stake a little bit more when there's an extra guy in running position to start the game. It's so much more pressure now in extra innings. I know a lot of people don't like it because everybody's a fan of 20 innings baseball. I want to see 30 innings. I want to see 6 hours of baseball. I'm not a fan of that BS, but I'm a fan of the pressure that it puts on both teams going into extra innings, knowing that there's a runner in scoring position. It's just like with the NFL when they went into overtime and they switched the rules in overtime to the first person to score wins the like almost like sudden death. That to me, that's what it feels like with the runner starting at second base in runner position and extra innings. To me, it just feels like it's more of a sudden death. I'm not sure personally.
That's the exact point of starting it in the 12th instead of the 10th. You're still playing the game 2 more. You basically extended the game 2 more innings.
You just want free baseball, Jonathan. You just want free shit.
Why do I want free shit? I can watch it at home and listen to it in the car.
I want to get Erica's take on that real quick when it comes to the ghost runner, because she wasn't agreeing with me when I was making my take. She was over there shaking her head.
I hate it when there's certain things that I'm a traditionalist about, and that's one of them. To put a free base runner on an extra innings is ridiculous to me. I don't understand how that even is still implemented into the game. You're saying because you want to see 20 innings. Nobody's saying that. How many games actually go that long? And when do,
none. Yeah.
like you get a Jason Giambi kind of extra inning game that gets played on Yes Network, and then we rewatch it anyway. So what are we doing? I don't like it though. That's one of the rules I didn't like that Rob Manfred kept around. It's Mickey Mouse.
What about you, Grace?
You know, I think that's interesting that Jonathan brought up to bring it in, not in the 10th, but in maybe the 12th or maybe even the 11th, like kind of like in college football when you go to no overtime and you each get a possession. The first time you can kick an extra point, but the second time you have to go for 2 points. And then after that, it's only 2-point conversions. No more even getting the ball in the 25 or 20-yard line anymore. It's just 2-point conversions straight up. So I do think there could be something to Jonathan's idea for the extra innings progressing as they go, the stakes getting risen each time or raised each time. But I don't know. I hated the Ghost Runner at first. Now I kind of don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. But if it's the way that it is, and it's the game that we're playing, we must figure it out like everybody else does. I don't understand why the Yankees of all teams can't figure this out, and the Pirates can, or the Tigers or whoever.
It took them 2 innings to figure it out as well, the Pirates.
Yeah, but that's because Dreamweaver was Weaver, okay? But other than that, I just hate the way that other teams seem to understand, move them over, bring them in, and we can't do that.
Yeah, no, I to me, and I think it goes back to Erica's point. This is why I get frustrated with the Ghost Runner is if you're in the postseason and you're getting rid of that rule and extra innings, why even do it in the regular season? If you're not going to have it in the postseason, why even do it in the regular season? Because it makes no sense. You have teams playing 162 games, right? They're playing 162 games with that rule for extra innings. But then you go into the postseason where the games matter more, where more strategy has to go into it, and you're getting rid of the Ghost Runner move. As Erica's dog agrees with me over there. Erica's dog is barking and agreeing with me over there. Go ahead, Jonathan.
My idea why they're getting rid of it in the regular season is to put less strain on the pitchers and to end the game early to avoid injury. It's all an injury. I think it's an injury prevention strategy.
Should have won the game in 9 innings then. I mean, come on, we're making excuses for professional ball players.
I understand that.
I agree with you, Erica.
Look, I have no backdoor knowledge of anything, but that's my assumption.
Yeah, but I mean, in hockey they do the same thing. They have the shootout in the regular season, but in the playoffs they still play overtime. They don't go into shootouts. So I guess they do it in other sports too, but still not a fan.
All right, yeah. So we gotta wrap things up right now. Again, appreciate Jonathan, TC, and our good friend Erica for coming up on the panel to give us our takes. Yankees versus the Detroit Tigers. Erica dog is like, Mama, I gotta go out for a walk before this Yankee game.
Now that's a dog. Can that dog close for us? Cause
you got two. You got two of them. You got two of them over there, Erica. Oh my God, that's right. That's right. Again, appreciate all of you guys for tuning in this morning. I'm going to drop down Jonathan, TC, and Erica, and then me and Grace will close things out. But I appreciate everybody for coming up and tuning in. Appreciate you guys like always. Shout out to our family, our extended family over there. This is Yankees Morning Brew. I'm Hector. This is Grace Monroe. We will be back this Thursday. Grace, final motivation message for the people that are watching. Any
motivation? All right. Here's your
motivational messages for the haters of Jason Dominguez.
Ready? The Yankees continuously win games they're not supposed to win and lose games they're not supposed to lose. And with that in mind, we should win tonight. Because we're playing during Scooble. We're not supposed to win, so we probably will win. Go Yankees.
And to Grace's point, this has been another episode of Yankees Morning Brew. This is an amazing Tuesday. The Yankees play the Detroit Tigers later on today. Hopefully, Jason Dominguez has a home run, because if he doesn't, you will hear Grace Monroe scream at Aaron Boone. We have Jason Dominguez, Aaron Judge, Anthony Volpe. The New York Yankees play the Detroit Tigers. Folks, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to our good friend Raymond Diaz in the chat. Oh, my guy Roro is in the building. Mikey C, how you doing? Anna Marie, appreciate you. Our friend Ness, how you doing? Nosebleed section in the building. Of course, our good friend the Ace Avenue. NES, we appreciate you. Big Time Jerry, appreciate you. Shout out to TC Stills. My guy Keith Saunders. Froggy was backstage. Froggy, sorry we couldn't get you up here, brother. Ocean Views and Coffee Shop, appreciate all of you guys. Folks, JV, love y'all. Great show as always. Like always, guys, make sure you guys drink some water. Say something positive about yourself. And until next time, I'm Hector.
I'm Delilah. Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
That's what this music reminds me. Thank you for tuning in to Yankees Morning Brew. Delilah. All right, I'm Grace Monroe. This is serious. We're serious. This is serious podcast. And I'm Grace Monroe. Go Yankees.
Yes. Grace Monroe, Hector Beauchamp. We will see you guys next Thursday. And until next time, deuces.
Bye.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.